Hey guys, Mr. Jalapeno here with another trim work DIY. On today's project, I'm going to show you how to install some baseboard. Super simple. The homeowners had a water leak around the kitchen island, so they had to remove some of the flooring, and obviously they had to remove the baseboard to remove the flooring. They also had to move some of the scribe around the kitchen island, so I'm going to show you how to reinstall it jalapeno style. So first thing you're going to want to do is get some baseboard. Luckily, this wasn't some specialty type of baseboard. Home Depot had it, which is always a plus because just finding the baseboard sometimes takes me longer than actually just installing it. So after you get the baseboard you need, now just measure it with your tape measure. I like to write down my measurements, that way I don't forget. The longest measurement I had was 111 inches. These ones on the sides were 12 and a 16th. And before I start measuring, I like to get my 45-degree miter cut first. That way I can pull my measurement from short end to short end, if that makes any sense. And remember, the long side was 111 inches. Now just mark it, use your square to get a nice straight line. And now it's time to cut. And remember, the mark I made was to 111 inches, and that's my short end. It's gonna line up perfectly with the corner beads on the drywall. Just make sure to measure twice and only cut once. If you do this, all your cuts and everything's gonna line up perfectly. Look, I'm using wood glue on the miter cuts here, and I'm also gonna use my pin nailer to put a few nails on the corner there. And I know not everybody has these 90-degree corners. A lot of people have those bull nose corners, which sometimes you need to do like a 22.5. I'll make a video on that separately another day. Now you're just gonna need an 18-gauge nailer for your baseboard, but I do recommend just using a pin nailer in case you're doing, you're putting up scribe on cabinets. The pin nailer just leaves a smaller hole which you don't have to fill compared to like this 18-gauge DeWalt nailer here. I do recommend to use a stud finder, that way you know you're hitting the studs with the nailer. That's going to help keep the baseboard nice and tight to the drywall. And now you're just going to want to tape off the wall and the floor, that way you don't get any paint on anything. I recommend to fill the nail holes first and then caulk. I kind of did things backwards here where I caulked first, the top of the baseboard where it meets the wall instead of just doing the nail holes, but it's up to you. You could do it either or. And as you can see here now, I'm filling the nail holes. I'm using Crawford's Painter's Putty to fill in the holes. After I fill them in, I just give it a nice little sand on the corners here. Make sure everything's nice and smooth. Look at that corner. And after everything's been caulked and all the nail holes have been filled, it's time to paint. I like to use a brush to paint the top of the baseboard, but I do not like to use it on the face of the baseboard just because it leaves a lot of brush marks. I recommend you use that foam roller I was using there. If you add a little bit of Floetrol with the foam roller, it gives it like a spray effect, which looks much better than brush marks. But if you already have brush marks on your baseboard, then just use a brush. And if you want to get some of the tools and materials I used here in this video, just go to the link in my bio or video description, go to my Amazon storefront and click on Painting Essentials. And that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comments if there's ways you would have done this differently. I'm always willing to learn, but that's it. Jalapeno Solutions. Boom!